Our second question comes from Aptos157, and they say, "Hello to you and your crew from Athens. What are some of your favorite American martial arts movies? By American, I mean the star of the movie is American." Okay. Thanks, and I will wait for your response. Okay, thank you, Aptos157. We appreciate the question. So I just want to make sure that I understand your question. I'm going to say it, repeat it. You're asking me what are some of my favorite American martial arts movies, and by American, it means that the star of the movie has to be American. Okay, so that removes Jean-Claude Van Damme then, right? I'm assuming that's what you mean. Okay, so great question. So my tastes are really varied. I like everything from old school stuff to some of the newer stuff. I like urban action versus some non-traditional action movies. I mean, martial arts movies that some may consider like cop movies or something like that. Yeah, my tastes are all over the place. So I'm gonna say, right off the top of my head, when I think of this type of question, what comes to my mind as one of my favorites would be Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. I know some of you are like, what? What is that? Remo, The Adventure Begins. That's one of my favorite like martial arts movies, in that it's not necessarily a martial arts movie, but has martial arts in it, martial arts themes built into it. It's more of an action movie. I think the premise is that there's this guy, I think he's a cop. I haven't seen the movie forever, but he's a cop, and I think he dies or they fake his death or something. And this like clandestine agency like recruits him and wants to train him to become like essentially like a secret agent, like an assassin. And the person who's responsible for training him, particularly in his fighting techniques and styles, is this guy. I want to say he's Korean, I think, and I think the technique is called Shinanju. Again, I'm not sure if I'm correct. I'm riffing. I think his name is Chun or Chin, something like this. And he's supposed to be training this guy. And if you get a chance, just watch this movie. It's 80s fare, but it's very entertaining. It's very funny. The training is crazy. How he teaches this guy about balance and things of that nature. So he has these exercises that he has him do in the loft that are pretty funny. And his explanation of his technique, which again, I'm not even sure if that's an actual martial art or not. I have to look into it. But he has this funny like death touch thing that he does, because initially the guy who's training him, this Chun character, he doesn't like this guy. I don't think he even likes any white people. He makes a lot of comments about white people in the beginning of the movie, which is some of them are really funny. But he does this move with his finger. He's like, shoo, and like hits the guy in the nerve, and it freezes him up, and he can't move. And it's very funny. So it's not heavy on martial arts, but it has martial arts built into it. That was one of my favorites back in the day. So yeah, Remo Williams. For me, it's a toss-up because I really like Michael Jai White. It's a toss-up between Blood and Bone and Undisputed 2. I love both of those movies for different reasons. Blood and Bone, to me, particularly the end fight, well, all the fights are great, but that end fight, I like that fight. Although I found it funny that it looked like Michael Jai White's character was fighting this guy with some Timberlands on. And the guy he was fighting was like in a suit, like a two-piece suit or something. I thought that was hilarious, but I like the choreography of that movie. And the opening fight with Kimbo Slice, that's special, right? So Blood and Bone is dope. Um, Undisputed 2, though, man. Undisputed 2, I really enjoy this movie. Um, the problem that I have with the movie is the notion that it is a sequel, and therefore Michael Jai White's character is a um, carryover of Ving Rhames' character from the first Undisputed with Wesley Snipes. Um, there's no indication in that first movie that those two are even similar, not even in fighting style, which again I found crazy. But if it is a carryover and he's supposed to be the same character, which again I'm not sure that's the case, I have a hard time believing that a boxer, and I love the movie, I love the characters, but I just have a hard time believing that a boxer with that particular skill set could beat someone like Scott Adkins' character Boyka. I mean, that character and the delivery of the martial arts in that movie, superb. And I believe that Scott Adkins' character would whoop Michael Jai White's character's ass in a real fight. When we're talking about characters, I'm not talking about the actors. I'm not trying to start no beefs. I happen to know they're actually really good friends too, by the way, and I think they're working on a new project together. So I love Undisputed 2 and I love Blood and Bone, but if between the two, I think I will go with Undisputed 2 because I really like the fight choreography. I'll give it a slight edge more. In Blood and Bone, he's like undefeated. He don't lose. He don't get hit that much anyway. And so I'm gonna go with Undisputed 2. That's one of my second favorite American movies. Now I'm about to go way left. Ninja 3: The Domination. Ninja 3: The Domination is it is a movie that if it's on, I absolutely will watch it because it takes me back to my 13-year-old self entering into puberty, and the main character, Lucinda Dickey. My 13-year-old self, I had a mad crush on her. Lucinda Dickey, for those of you who don't know, she also was in the Breaking movies. She was like the dancer in the Breaking movie, Breaking 1 and Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. I had a mad crush on her. And in that movie, I just, as a 13-year-old, I was just like drooling, like, right? But the added fun of Shokasugi, who is my all-time favorite ninja actor, practitioner, I just love it. I just think it's a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen Ninja 3: The Domination, give it a watch. It's enjoyable, especially the opening scene that takes place on a golf course. That's about 15 minutes of just straight ninja action and fun. It's a good movie. It's entertaining. You're not going to get the best swordplay ever. You're not going to get it's not the greatest story. It's got a little bit of an Exorcist kind of vibe in it. So, but taking it for what it is, I just enjoyed the movie. And again, Lucinda Dickey, mwah, right? I'm gonna go even more left because as a person, I think that he is an asshole. I've actually had an actual conversation with him, and I think he is a jerk. But I would be lying to you if I did not tell you that I enjoy many of his films. Steven Seagal, and of his movies, his three-word titles, his three-word title movies, Above the Law, those type of movies, Out for Justice. For me, Marked for Death. Marked for Death is my favorite, one of my favorite American martial arts movies. It's a cop movie, but obviously, with by virtue of Steven Seagal being the star of the movie, it's inundated with a lot of aikido and gunplay. But I think there's even a sword fight that happens towards the end of the movie. But I just think that Steven Seagal, I love him in that movie. And bonus, it takes place in Chicago, my hometown. So I just love it. I love that he's going up against a boss that you probably wouldn't have seen back then. Back then, pretty much in movies, the antagonists were either Asian or Russian. You get a little bit of Middle Eastern. I like that he used the Jamaican posse as the antagonist in the movie, with a nice twist at the end. I won't spoil for you here, but Steven Seagal, yeah, man. I mean, the fight scene in I want to say that was Marshall Fields at the time. I believe it was Marshall Fields. That fight scene that takes place in the store is fantastic. It's just a good movie. If you're looking for some good, it seems to me that some of his movies, they're kind of hit or miss, but I thought that his movies got progressively better, actually, with, in my personal opinion, again, Mark for Death and Under Siege being some of my favorites. Under Siege more so for its military and its tactics and, the Navy SEAL of it all, me being ex-military. I love that movie, but Mark for Death, that's the one. That's the one that I really, really, really enjoy. So that would be my favorites. I'm sure there's a ton more. The question should be, what are some of your favorite American martial arts films? Hey, we'd love to hear from you. So if you have some thoughts on the topic, comment below. Let us know. And again, Aptos157, I want to thank you for the question. Let's move on to the next question. Let's go.